Hello and welcome to Campaign Comrades, your favorite Lucky's gaming podcast. It is going to be the three comrades for the foreseeable future, as we sad to inform that Mike is taking an indefinite leave of absence for the time being as personal and work obligations take over.
He has passed on to the next life.
He's been banished to the Shadow Realm for only playing Pokemon. Because if he was actually playing Yu-Gi-Oh, we wouldn't send him to the actual Shadow Realm, because then that'd be a new game for him. But folks, other news, bear with me in particular if my audio is a little bit different and wonky this episode. I'm going with a new microphone that I've got to dial in and fine tune. So if we got some true leftist audio going on, that's the reason why. I will know very shortly if it was a success or not as I go to edit this episode, but my comrades here tell me that it sounds okay, and I just got to be good with mic control. Yeah, they would never tell me falsehoods. They're only always truthful with me.
One of us tells the truth, and one of us always lies.
The barbarian solution to that in any D&D campaign is just kill them both. It's just axe to the head with both of them. I think there's like a meme of that one. It's like the barbarian kills one, and he asks the other one, "Is he dead?" No, he lied. All right. So it's our kind of middle of the month episode. We're just kind of checking in, shooting the shit, talking about what games we've been playing. So, boys, surprise me if you can. I want to throw it to you two to tell me what games have you been playing this month, as if I don't already know.
With the tales of Reddit games Flappy Goose.
Is that a soulless recreation of Flappy Bird? Is that the crypto Flappy Bird?
Oh my god!
It exists as a Reddit, an inbuilt Reddit game. It's got a creator so people can make custom levels. I've beaten like 600 something custom levels.
Just while you're on the toilet at work, just playing.
Not even on
Reddit
the toilet. Do you understand what I do while I'm in Hanover? That's me just sitting at the control room desk, trying not to lobotomize myself.
Playing Flappy Goose.
That counts, right? If we allowed Mike to say Pokemon Go, I am allowed to say Flappy Goose.
Flappy Goose.
I guess mobile games do count in that regard. So what's so addicting about Flappy Goose? Does it capture the spirit of it's imitating?
Absolutely. And I mean, the custom creator in general captures the spirit of how god awful people are at game design. Like I always enjoy opening the thread attached to the custom game and seeing like 0.26% completion rate.
Oh my god.
Because they made it like a pixel perfect jump through a tiny gap.
So it's user generated content, but are people getting human trafficked through it? That's the key to will it be successful?
I mean,
will people be human trafficked, and will they then prosecute those being trafficked and not the traffickers?
Is this Roblox?
Are
you entrapping me right now? Where's Chris Hansen? I'm out.
I cannot wait for the Chris Hansen Roblox documentary. Oh my god, I will. That'll be appointment viewing in this household.
Chris Hansen is. I blame him though for the creation of the online guys who just assault like mentally handicapped men in grocery stores and accuse them of being pedophiles.
Yeah, the sicko hunters.
Yes, but at the same time, I support them when they're assaulting people for not putting their shopping carts away.
That is prime antisocial behavior, so acceptable for them to be sent to the re-education camp.
That is one of the demerits in my social credit system that I've been developing at home. Absolutely, you get minus like 500 credits for that. It's bullshit.
It was years ago. It was like right at the end of the post-COVID world tour. I went to my local Shaw's and I was about to pull into the parking spot, and the lady in the spot next to it just put her cart in the middle of it. So I parked right behind her car and proceeded to grab that cart and like the 12 other carts that were scattered around and lined them all up and then brought them back to the cart corral. And she was fucking angry. She was like, "I'm going to call the police." I was like, "You could have avoided all of this by not just throwing the cart into the place that I was trying to pull into immediately."
I'm going to call the police. Like what? What are you going to tell them?
Entrapment was what she was.
You kidnapped her.
It'd be kidnapping, yeah. It's like, you kidnapped me. She would think, yeah, you're a human trafficker. that you're a Roblox creator and trying to get her in the real world. Don't they have like there's like symbols that they think that people put on their cars or whatever that aren't?
Yeah, that's some of my favorite content online is the there's a leaf on your windshield. You're being human trafficked. You better watch out.
Enough about shopping carts.
Flappy Goose reminds me. I just think one of the funniest aspects of the Flappy Bird story that gets forgotten is that after the creator of Flappy Bird, took it offline because he didn't like the press, like 8 years later,
suffering from success.
Yeah, 8 years later, he tried to come back with it and like made a press announcement, and no one cared. Everyone was like, "Cool, man."
The best part about that entire phenomenon was people selling phones with Flappy Goose still downloaded on it for like hundreds to thousands of dollars.
That's right.
A relationship ended with Flappy Bird. Candy Crush is my new best friend. At that point, we've moved on.
Reddit games has a full gamut. There's Crossy Duck.
Is that like a Frogger? Like a Frogger style game?
Oh man, we need to do Frogger, I think. Ooh.
Who can forget when we played real life Frogger as freshmen in high school, crossing from the lacrosse field, when we said that the crosswalk sign said go when it didn't, and one of our dumb teammates named Hammy decided to, without looking, just start walking into Route 10 traffic.
Natural selection, baby. That's fine.
I mean, now I just do that on purpose. Like God will decide what happens, and I'm going.
Speaking of high school though, and Frogger, I'm pretty sure Frogger was one of the games that was like ghost installed on some of the computer systems. I like had this weird memory unlocked of playing Frogger on a high school computer lab desktop.
I think you're right. I had a Frogger 3D game for like Windows 97, and it was goated, except for the fact that like every time Frogger died, it was like a somewhat graphic animation of him being splattered, and it definitely made me feel bad. I was like, this guy can't. He has to live. I don't want to see this cute little frog splattered on the road again. Very, very distressing for an 8-year-old.
But speaking of like weird platform mobile games, like I have like Netflix resubscribed for like a month or two, and like it keeps trying to sell me on playing the weird mobile games. And I'm like, I'm not going to use it with my fucking Roku remote, that shit barely works half the time anyways. Like something that needs, Twitch controls using my replacement Roku remote I bought off Amazon is not going to work. So I have completely skipped all those. But so when you just described the game, I'm thinking of like the T-Rex platformer that you can play when your internet goes out, just an embedded like kind of flash game thing like that. It's like, hell yeah, that's some quality base level game design. We love it.
There was
an endless runner.
Like 2 or 3 years ago, there was a day where our entire company network went down, and I got paid for an 8-hour day, essentially to sit there and play the T-Rex Chrome game. I played it for like 4 straight hours, and I was like, all right, I'm going home.
It's like, that's just a great use of company resources. Who's at management level just say like, yeah, call it, go home. You're not
creating a GDP.
The second you quit is when the internet comes back. It's the diamond and mining meme. Yeah. 99% of people send their employees home right before the internet comes back on.
Yeah.
IT guys hate this one simple trick.
Leaving.
So, Matt, besides Reddit games, what else have you been playing?
Cat butt simulator.
Say surprise everybody here with what else? What else have you all been playing?
He doesn't want to say it.
No, I was waiting for OC to jump off my back because she was indecisive. Obviously, I've been playing the Game of the Year contender, John Nightreign.
Oh,
he doesn't want to admit to his problem.
Oh, I fully love.
He feels the.
I'm gonna play this game for the rest of the year, and no one's gonna stop.
His internal shame that when I called him a COD guy, but for Nightreign.
There's no shame in that. Because Andrew called it correctly. It's not COD. It's my Overwatch symptoms. They're gonna add a ranked mode, and you're never.
Yeah, I was just gonna say when the ranked mode comes, goodbye, Matt.
Matt will also be taking a sabbatical purely for Nightreign.
The joke I saw was like everyone's hyped for the ranked mode, and then Everdark Libra came out, and it's like imagine going through a ranked run where you don't get to pick your boss, and all of a sudden it's Everdark Libra.
Yeah, just the toxicity involved with people throwing on.
No, I'm absolutely looking forward to a ranked mode with that voice chat, because that's where it would get fucking awful. Be like, I'm in a rank up game and you're throwing. Why are you playing Duchess? Who plays
Just
Revenant in this mode? Executor
game.
only.
Executor only. Every game ends with you just getting messaged by one of the randoms, like your IP address with like a bomb threat.
Well, I told you, I think it was last weekend, because similar to Overwatch, I've discovered the weekend meta, which is you absolutely don't play on Saturdays, because Saturdays are when normal, well-adjusted people are out doing things. So it's really just shitters and children. So like I was playing Saturday, and I had like, I think out of like the 8 or so games I'd played across the span of the day, I think I had 6 total games that involved a lever. And then the 7th game involved me being the lever, because I watched my teammates split off into 2 different directions, one hitting every church around the map without doing anything valuable, the other immediately going to a Night Invader cathedral as a guardian with no damage and just dying over and over again. And I sat there as the night started closing for the first circle and was like, I could just leave right now. There's no consequence. And then I could just get
remind me what the penalty is.
If you queue back into the game that you left, you lose a level.
I thought there was another. I thought like
There's
you
no
lost
penalty.
Merc or something. Wow. I mean, I feel like there should be.
It does kind of threaten you. Like it implies you might like lose access to multiplayer, but it doesn't specify.
It's only if the game that you left is still going on. They might not let you queue into another game.
How would they force? I feel like that would be such random chance to queue back into the game that you just dropped from.
You get the choice.
Yeah,
when you get back to the menu screen, it gives you a pop-up where it's like, do you want to rejoin back into the session? It's still there.
Because maybe it was a connection issue.
Yeah. Which is why the punishment isn't as severe, because, you know, internet connection things they happen. But yeah, I left that game.
But then that sucks. That sucks if you are just booted because of connection stuff, and then it's like, I lost the level because your server's crapped out. That kind of sucks.
I mean, a lost level isn't really that big of a deal.
It's not huge. When you're a noob, then yes, it is. It's you know, they're like, oh my god, this run is over. This is fucked. I'm gonna go kill myself. I'm gonna go jump off the side of the map.
Yeah.
But yeah, once you get a little more experience, yeah, that's easily recovered.
But I got messaged by one of the people in the game that I left, where he sent me like, he was the guardian. He was like, "You're not a very good wilder, huh? Sad face." And I just reported message, blocked account, and moved on with my life.
Good, healthy. I mean, the audacity of somebody who's done that and gone off on their own to do stupid things and to be like, you don't understand the game, do you?
Yeah, well, I'm in the castle basement soloing a grafted scion because I need something to do to get me levels.
I would have thought that by now, you know, the game's been out enough, you know, everybody and their brother is making, here's the secret guide to get OP quick in a run, you know.
I mean, there is no real secret guide to get OP quick, though.
No,
that's the thing. Like, it's entirely random. Maybe you kill your first red boss on the first half of night 1 and you get him a Rice Executioner sword. Guess what? Now you win. The game is over. As long as you're not physically and mentally incapable, it's it. You just kill everything on the map and you get to hit a boss 3 times and they die. Like that, the secret, air quotes, is when people are like, oh, you got to go to Noclateo day 1. Because Noclateo has a high density of legendary drops. So you could potentially go in there and get the big legendary.
Just scour everything.
Yeah, there's like 16 corpses, and then like even low level you can kill the Black Knife Assassin. If you have an ultimate, you can go down and kill the Royal Revenant and his guardian basilisks. Like you can check the chest drop up top. Like there's enough random drops that you can pull on night 1 where you can still walk out at like level 6 or so. But you got to know what you're doing, and I'm never going to go into Noclateo day 1 with a full group of randoms. Like last night, even with...
They just run straight to Dragonkin and just die over and over and over.
Well, it was like, we did a run last night with me and Andrew, and our random started going left route in Noclateo. And I tried to do the like polite thing of like dropping a pin on my body, showing like, no, follow me to the right. Right is better. And like not like spam pinning, because I've read plenty of posts on Reddit where people are like, if I see someone spam pinging, I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna put a gun to my head. I'm gonna kill myself.
But at some point, when people are that stupid, I mean, it's the fact of that's the only communication tool that you've been given, right? If you could do something more like follow, just even like make an audio cue of follow me this way, then that's better, right? But yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes all you have at your disposal is, you know, spam pinging, running around a person in circles, wiggling at them, and then running the other way.
No, I do wish like there was the Nintendo.
I think the pinging system works pretty well if you know how to use it. Like last
Yeah,
night
if the
when
person
we were,
isn't fucking stupid, but like
Yeah.
they need to cater to the absolute least common denominator when it
like
comes to
Andrew, like
communication.
last night when
'Cause
we
people
finished
are
night
fucking
one and we're going
stupid.
down to night 2, and he pins the farthest bottom, not Everjail, and I pinned.
Yeah.
I was like, no, this Everjail, this cathedral, that Everjail church, Noclateo, and I pinned them in a row to show like what I was looking at pathwise, and we made it work.
Communication through points on the map.
But that would also suggest that
I'm gonna
person
learn
has
Morse
their map
code so that
open.
I can spam ping in Morse code.
Long dash, short dash, long dash.
You stop, should stop, kill, stop, yourself, stop.
just Morse coding gamer words at them the whole
I mean, Morse code did exist at the peak of gamer words, so there's definitely Morse code for that.
Before we get into like the meat of like current updates with Nightreign, Andrew, are you going to have something else to talk about, or you do?
Yeah,
Okay.
I have 2 other things to talk about.
Okay. All right.
He's
so then
also
we can-
played Flappy Goose.
I just want to make sure that we don't get all of it out before, if you know, this is all you got to. All right, good. I'm happy. I'm pleased.
Yeah, no, I got stuff.
Only one person gets the evil eye today.
This is all I'm gonna play. I'll give you a peek inside the window of my mind right now.
Oh boy.
Oh no.
Outside of the weekend where I'll probably play Resident Evil
about
4,
madness.
which I'm looking at Labor Day weekend, like that's a 3-day weekend. I could probably bang that out in 3 days and be done.
If you sit down and are dedicated to it, yeah, it's doable in that amount of time.
I'm looking at the release. I'm looking for the reviews for Lost Soulacide, since it's supposed to be a Final Fantasy 15 like, and I like Final Fantasy 15. I'm looking at
everything I've seen about it is Devil May Cry coded. Is Final Fantasy 15 Devil May Cry coded?
I'm looking at. Did you
just not hear any of that?
Yeah, did you miss that?
I didn't hear most of it. You were quiet.
I said Final
Yeah,
Fantasy.
you did get quieter, Ben.
Is this better? Any change?
Little, but not much.
All right. Continue. I will troubleshoot.
Ben was asking if it's shit. What's the name? Fuck.
Devil May Cry.
Devil May Cry coded. Yeah, that one.
No, not really. I mean,
Which one is 15? Can you remind me?
15 is the boy band.
Ah,
It's
okay, yeah.
Noctis and his royal guard on a road trip to go see wifey.
Why did people dislike that one so much? What was
Because it was a
finished.
big departure from traditional Final Fantasy, because it was full action combat and
Right.
but like the action
And they
combat
never
was fun.
finished it.
It's not Final Fantasy 16 where it's full character action game. It's more of a hybrid between like a God of War type combat almost. But like the main gimmick of the combat is Noctis's teleporting ability, being able to teleport around the battlefield.
Okay. Cool.
And
That's
then,
cool.
Hear me now.
spoiler
Can you hear
alert,
me
as you
now?
get farther into the game, he gets a ring that just lets you kill things instantly. You just hold up your ring and they die.
Kiss.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, a little bit. You're still like you did go down like a couple decibel levels.
Well, he's still messing with that. After Lost Soulacide, it's essentially Digimon, Ghost of Yote. It'll probably be Digimon first because I don't expect that to get DLC. Whereas Ghost of Yote, I would expect to get DLC, so I'd probably hold off on that and play that later on, depending. But there's really not much left in the release window for this year, outside of like if Metroid Prime 4 gets its release date, that's gonna like fully pull me in, unless Nightreign starts to like really drop off in content release, because like we have one more Everdark boss in Gladius, a theoretical one with Holster we don't know about, but like after this month is when we're hitting that point of DLC potential, because last quarter of the year. And like, who knows what's going to happen with the DLC? Whole new map, new classes, new bosses.
Has any DLC existence been confirmed at all?
Yeah, that was gonna be my. Yeah, why do you think there is there definite DLC?
I
Yeah,
haven't heard it.
It's
there is?
included in the deluxe edition.
You think it'll be that quick?
They said it was last quarter of the year.
Shit, I didn't realize all that they had said.
And it's one of those where this is a game where they're theoretically going to want to have more release content to keep it giving it legs. I mean, I saw last night that it's, only a couple thousand players below its peak Steam count for 24 hours. Like, it's still holding on to a pretty big player base.
What a like.
Hold on, I'm checking it. Can you hear me? Did that change anything?
You were like a third the volume of Andrew.
Yeah. What a proof of concept for them though, heading into the switch to Duskbloods. Like, the success of this must have them also so pumped for.
I mean, what this means for them is this gives them another type of game that they can release in between big launches. They can. This is because this is an asset dump, as people like to call it. You can take all the assets from your most recent successful game, put it together, throw in some other legacy stuff, and boom, now you've got a multiplayer spin-off that you'll get at least a year out of from people, or and it costs less up front and it costs less to the player.
I'm like, now I'm fantasizing about like this type of game for Armored Core.
I was just about to say an Armored Core version of this could be pretty.
Yeah, that could be pretty
dropping
fun.
in, just like checking out random loadouts.
Yeah, particularly with how. Because that's part of what is great about Nightreign is the buildability.
Yeah.
But like allowing you to just try whatever
it lets
any
people,
particular run.
It lets people who generally in Elden Ring wouldn't have tried as many things get to try some of these other weapons that they, might not have found or might not have, like, in the sense of
inspect for.
Yeah. Like, not everyone plays the game like I do, where it's like, okay, I'm going to be building because I'm going to be playing this till New Game Plus 6. So I want to build my character so that I've got stats to be able to, on a whim, swap weapons because I've been bored of my current play style and now I want to, try out my new cancer build. Or, and yes, cancer build is real. I give the other players cancer.
Okay, so Ghost of Yote, is that confirmed?
Yeah.
Do we have a...
That's like October 6th
August,
or whatever.
Yeah, October. Yeah, okay. First week in October.
Matt, you're not interested in Snake Eater, huh? You're not gonna check that out?
Just depends. It's not really like at the top of my list. It's like if I'm gonna play a Kojima game, I'll probably play Death Stranding before I play that. But like Lost Soulside is like upcoming that I have my eye on, waiting for what the reviews say. It's been a long time in development, so it could go either direction.
Who's doing that one?
It's a solo Chinese developer.
Used to be a solo. They are now, they got Sony funding and are now a slightly bigger team. But yeah, it started as a solo project, and they won like a Sony kind of growth project initiative thing. And it's, so that, and it has changed kind of over time.
It was originally supposed to release in May, but they needed a couple more months to cook it. But it's gone gold, so it's releasing.
Yeah, I've seen some people with previews on it that make me unsure. Like, from what I've seen of combat, it looks pretty cool. And yeah, I've seen most people describe it as, it's Devil May Cry inspired. But, that some of that kind of development issue, some of that long development cycle, could have, imparted some not great qualities to it. So I'm waiting to see how it's received before I die.
Have either of you played any Devil May Cry? Matt, you have, right?
I've played some of the older ones.
I've played a good portion of the first one and fell off of it just because of camera shenanigans. It's of that era of game where you have no control over the camera. I want to, from everything that I've seen of people who like the series, they say like you can skip Devil May Cry 2, I believe. I think it's 2. And then it's like start at 3, play 3, 4, 5, go back and play 1. Or like maybe play 1 or 2.
Skip
but yeah,
all
most
of
people
that.
are like,
Only play DMC Devil May Cry, the edgy reboot.
the Ninja Theory people reboot, which is actually supposed to be pretty good. But yeah, I think what I'm gonna do is like watch some like lore videos or cutscene compilations because they're not very long. So I could probably like do like a full series catch up in like a few hours, and then I want to play Devil May Cry 5. I really do. It just looks so crazy and wild. But I need to know the Virgil and Dante lore before I get there to fully appreciate.
And then you need to play Dante's Inferno, the completely unrelated.
Is that the one where he hangs dong, or is there like where the character
Satan
hangs dong? Okay, I knew
Satan
there was.
hangs-
I knew there was
Hangs the,
dong
like,
hanging in it.
22-inch long dong.
Yeah, I knew that there was dong hanging in that game.
I mean,
couldn't remember who it was.
Where is this game available? What platform?
It was a PS3, Xbox 360 era game. I think it might be on Steam.
So, which would mean it's very hard to find.
I just remember one of my teammates was playing it in college, and I went into his room, and it was just like, oh, those are titties with snakes coming out of them.
It's of that era of like, being edgy for edgy's sake.
Yeah. It's like Satan is cucking you by taking your wife and hanging 22-inch dong in all the cutscenes.
Amazing. It's like the question with Peach and Bowser. Is she really a captive? She's always there. She's where she wants to be.
It's an elaborate game that gets all three parties what they want.
So we haven't really talked though about the current update though. It's not supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be madness. The genre of Libra posting that I have been seeing lately has healed my soul a little bit, because I was getting pissed off at the game, and then to see other people, misery loves company, right? So to see other people suffering is always fun, and just people mauling in the comments about how
now that
shitty the design is.
I look at all of them and I'm just like, peasants, get lucky.
Yeah.
Get lucky and pull a grafted blade greatsword on Triple Wilder with Vike's Warspear run, idiots.
If we were really like max DPSing, whenever he does his thing to preach madness, we should have been switching to the grafted scion and doing that, because when he preaches madness, all
Everything
weapons
madness
deal madness. So we could have been maxing out DPS that way, but we still managed to make that.
I was thinking about it
easy
that night, because I was dead on the ground while you guys were doing the wrap up. And I was thinking of how, like, every anime I've seen, when like the protagonist is about to finish off the big bad, and all of the side characters like, you can do it, come on, believe. That was just in my head the whole time, while like
as I'm poking him with Vike's spear, yeah.
Poke.
Yamateo.
So I think like my experience of it was really kind of colored by our first attempt, which was like plagued by a connection issue that was just making so many things wonky, that because the fight is so crazy, I'm like, and we didn't like fully understand all the new mechanics, I'm like, this is just busted. It's like
when you were like, you're all invisible. It's like, nope, that's part of the game.
Yeah, we learned that that was intentional. But there was,
really cool mechanic to add in. I'd like to point out, like turning people invisible as they go down, so that they have to stop crawling around infinitely. And
so it's not. It doesn't just happen when they go down. It just can happen.
It's most valuable when they're down, because that's when
I was going to say
that's the person to get them up.
Yeah, I said that's when it's the biggest pain for the player. But when with the other main mechanic, and we can debate about whether we think this is good, boss design or not. That his main shtick is that he's just spamming mimic ads of your party, right? So it can actually be beneficial to become invisible, because you can more clearly tell who is the NPC and who isn't.
Well, we said it during our first match, because that's when we banned Andrew from playing Iron Eye, because we didn't want an Iron Eye NPC. Because the first Iron Eye NPC lasted the entire time, because he was just pretending to be Andrew.
Yeah. Just shooting poison arrows into all of us.
It's like if he was the one with the Iron Jar Aromatic, the Jar Cannon, and the One-Eyed Shield, it would have been a lot easier to identify him. Because it's like, Andrew's not using a Jar Cannon. There's an imposter among us.
But in that first run, just seeing Libra just virtual insanity slide across the floor at me while casting madness, I'm like, this is thematically excellent, but something has clearly gone wrong here.
Well, I told you guys I was down, and I watched Ben's character run up a dune and then just continue to ascend into the sky.
Which is like a common communication error that you see people post all the time. I've never witnessed it. Just seeing Birdman ascend to the heavens.
Me and Andrew had a game where we had an executor, where we opened the first ever jail. He went dog mode, and then at least on my screen, he was just teleporting all over the map, just everywhere, like full anime, like instant transmission, just pew 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 pew, and then he just slid off the side of the plateau and just disappeared and just disconnected.
At least we didn't get an actual disconnect. Like I would have thought that if that happened to me, that I would have disconnected from your games. But it's weird that that only happened on your end. But then after that we're like, okay, this is actually all supposed to happen, I guess. But I know. So what are your thoughts on the fight? It's clearly the hardest one.
I mean, it's the only Everdark where I'm not going to go back through voluntarily and redo it. I do think I've hit a point of wraparound where I'm like, oh, this is absolute cinema. We've gone back to, I think it's hilarious. I love it because some of the characters that can get summoned in are just fucking incredible. Dual fingerprint shield guardian just slow walking at you. Like, what are you going to do?
To see Triple Turtle Man coming at you is very funny. And it's funny when it's removed from you, right? Yeah. When you see it happening to another person, that's hysterical. Happening to me,
I would never allow it to happen to me because I would never allow a guardian in my game.
I wish untold evils upon you if that happens.
The fun videos of the Revenant NPCs when they get summoned in and they are holding a giant crusher and a colossal greatsword.
The question for Revenants though is, can the NPCs summon?
I assume so.
That is pure cancer. Right there.
Oh God, there's 6 Sebastians.
Yeah.
Dude, I'd be more nervous for Helen. Just 6 Helens coming at me, count your days.
I mean, at least Helen doesn't remember how to use her crossbow.
I just think it is an unfortunate bit of design that was a cool kind of thematic kernel that they had. Just let's just do pure chaos. And I like I like the cycling of different effects with his curses upon you. That's cool. But when you get spammed with, a mob of ad fight, is chaos and can be like cinema, but then it becomes less about the boss. That's my main criticisms, is that it becomes less about Libra, where Libra is a cool and unique boss that they could have done something more interesting. He gets very few added attacks or anything at all. He himself is not he is actually easier to manage in this fight than he is in his regular base level fight. Whereas
sort of.
I think he is because he's
you have to remember in his regular
more active.
In his regular base level fight, you have the mechanic of breaking his bubble to prevent him from going into spam casting mode. The only way to break spam casting mode in this form is either inflict madness or to fully break his stance. And when you fully break his stance, you won't get a riposte out of it. He will just fake riposte you because he'll slam the ground and then go into anger mode. Those are your 2 win conditions to get him out of, I'm going to constantly pull AoEs out of the ground, or put the spinning turrets in 3 different places so that you get triangulated.
Well, and just in terms of comparing it to all the other Everdarks, it's just becomes the least interesting about him, right? Whereas all the other ones have these new either mechanics or move sets introduced. The Fulgur one is the best. I think is universally agreed upon is the best Everdark. It is the most well balanced, and that it offers added challenge, but it is still an absolutely fair and winnable fight.
The way I've seen it described is that, so to put it into perspective, Fulgur versus Libra. In Fulgur, if you're in trios, a singular skilled player can carry the match because they can maintain aggro, maintain dodging, do the damage, avoid all of the entrapments. In Libra, a singular skilled player cannot carry the match. You need all 3 players to be pulling their own weight, being able to, kite NPCs and deal with them, dodge AoEs, get their damage windows in, because especially when he puts down the quad walls and chops up the map.
There are just points of time when he does that I'm just sitting there doing nothing. Because none of the NPCs are in my little sector. He's somewhere else. I have no ranged option. So I'm just kind of sitting there. Maybe he throws an AoE at me that I dodge, and I'm just waiting.
I've seen some funny clips of obviously he's spawning the circles underneath each player, for the AoEs. So the players had clustered up, so all 3 circles stacked on top of each other, and it one-shot the entire party at the the onslaught of the beginning of the fight.
No, you do not want to be grouped up with your players there. The worst one is when you get the eyeball over the head,
Yeah.
and you're just you're just then each triple procking each other. You're getting your own and you're getting everybody else's. So you're just instantly fucked.
It is
You
very
need to be spread out.
it is very like expected. I don't want to say, but like From Software has always included the NPC boss.
A gank fight. Yeah.
Yeah. Like Demon Souls had the old monk, but that was like a progenitor. Dark Souls 2 had the triple gank. Dark Souls 3 has a couple. You've got the Everlight fight where it can either be an NPC computer or it can be a summoned in player. Dark Souls 2 also has the Tower Mirror Knight, who puts his shield down and can summon in other players to add into the fight. And if you don't kill them fast enough, we'll just keep summoning them in. So it was a little bit of an homage to Mirror Knight. I'm butchering that name. That's definitely not right.
Makes sense though. Putting is the shield shiny?
Because like
and
it's a big mirror shield.
Cool.
does it summon random NPCs or is it like random?
It can summon
like
either
mimics,
a pre-built
essentially?
NPC character or it can summon in actual players.
Because what would be very cool and thematic about that is that if it was like a mimic type thing where it's like it's putting it up and it's summoning your reflection.
Something I'd thought about for the Libra fight that would be cool, but would also be cancer, would be that, say you get Libra spawn in on your map, one of his deals would be like to aid the demon.
Mm-hmm.
And then like your map's clock stops and you get summoned in to help him in an Everdark fight against someone else. And if you win,
That'd be cool.
If you win, you get buffs.
That'd be cool.
That would be cool. They'll never do that though, because that would just throw off the timing of a run.
It would also just be absolute ass because now you're adding PvP elements and oh boy, my boss fight just included someone who's played this game for 700 hours and
Yeah, I don't think they would do that. It's cool in theory, but I don't think that'd ever happen. All right, we've spent plenty of time on
more Nightreign.
On Nightreign. I still think that the boss is a little bit disappointing. There are cool aspects, cool ideas that like it's absolutely not one I will choose to ever play again. Now that we've
Gladius this Wednesday will be a lot different.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what that's going to be like. All right, Andrew, you've got some things to surprise me with. Let's
I do. So we'll keep the first one short. I've been playing and wrapping up Separate Ways, the DLC for Resident Evil 4, and I don't really plan on spending much time on that when we have our Resident Evil 4 episode, which is upcoming. A little teaser for you all. But I wanted to just talk about the design of Separate Ways as a DLC, because for those of you that don't know, you end up taking on the role of Ava, and you get to see her actions in the background of the main storyline of Leon as they play out through the DLC. And I really like that idea. I find it to be a really engaging way of bringing DLC into the main storyline, tying it all together. And I think I like that idea more than how DLC is often kind of used as like a either prelude
an additional chapter or something like that. It's cool that it's shifting perspective because, well, one, she's a character that is very mysterious.
Yep.
I get that she and Leon themselves have history as well that ties back to earlier games, I presume.
Yes.
Is it Resident Evil 2?
Yes, exactly.
So I get that. But then it's just like and so I'm obviously not fully aware, having not played it, what that history is. But like, you don't know what her motivation is. You don't like if you're playing it just kind of bare. It's like you don't know what her motivation is. You don't know who she's working for. Can she be trusted? What her goal is, what she's doing when she just kind of disappears throughout this. So it's I agree that's an interesting idea. It's run congruently, but from a different perspective.
Yeah, and like,
how long is it?
It's really not that long. I'm on the last chapter now, and I've played 6 hours. So
that's longer than I expected because the game itself is not very long. So to have a 6-hour DLC for that is pretty hefty.
Yeah, it's about half of the main game length, and at least based on my play times of the two. And like one of the other great parts of it, like even you get those motivations, you get some of that understanding of why she's there, but you also get, you know, little Easter eggs of her grabbing the boat keys, which she then comes out of the shadows and tosses to Leon at a key point in the main story. And so just like being like, that's why she had it and was there, and makes more sense as to just builds really upon the lore that you get from the main game. And so I just really appreciate that style.
Does she
of DLC.
Does she play any different than Leon?
Yeah, she has a grapple gun, which is a pretty fun addition. You can use that for more melee. Once you stun an enemy, you grapple up to them and do a melee attack. It's definitely...
Because that, again, that's a pain in the butt with Leon, is that you've stunned them and you want to try to get them to do the melee finisher, and he just is so fucking slow.
Yeah.
They recover.
That
they recover from the stun before, like, when I'm halfway there.
Yeah, before you get there. 100% is, you know, that's part of the difficulty. But yeah, they do give you a grapple gun, which allows you to navigate that a bit better. And the enemies are a little bit more hefty. More enemies with the ability to use like a ranged weapon, which you see some in the main storyline, but they're a little bit more heavily placed. So yeah, I just wanted to spend some time talking about it. It's a great addition. I really do appreciate the different viewpoint on the main story that adds to it. It's a really good addition to the base game in a way that I sometimes feel DLC doesn't achieve. So I've been playing that. And then the other one, which I think can open up a little more conversation with you both, because I need a refresher and some tips, is that I've restarted my playthrough of Armored Core 6. And I've done the first two sorties again. I've replayed them. And I just forgot how much fun it is. But my first question to you both, if you remember, is what did you have set up on your back pedals? Because when I played this game initially, I did not have the edge.
I don't think I had mine. I
think I had jump
and boost.
And boost.
Yeah. That's what I have right now. Two
things that I would want to be doing while I still had my fingers on the sticks.
Is the boost like it's the dodge thing, right? Yeah. Or is the version of the dodge, right? Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, so, yeah, particularly with this game, having your fingers on the sticks at all times is...
Because Armored Core is the one where the meme came from, where people were...
The claw grip.
Yeah.
The reverse controller grip. Yeah. Yeah. Fucking wild. Yeah, I don't think I had my Edge controller.
I did, because I always played it.
Yeah. Little goon master over here. Yeah, I don't think I did.
Okay.
Talking about Armored Core 6 just makes me wish for more Armored Core.
Well, 6 was so successful, I'm pretty sure it's all but guaranteed that we're going to get another one.
I'm just thinking, like, I want a DLC. I want to be able to go back.
I'd prefer a new game. But
maybe release me a 1.5 game where it's just like an arena fighter, where I just have like 100 rounds of an arena to work through.
There is some multiplayer.
Yeah.
Which I didn't
ranked
realize.
mode for Nightreign is built off the bones of the ranked mode for Armored Core.
Interesting.
So you started from the beginning.
Yeah, I didn't like start a new game because
you kept your original one. You just went back and redid the missions.
Yeah, I'm just replaying the missions and watching the briefings.
Cheater! I want you to suffer through the helicopter again.
I did. It actually doesn't give you. It makes you use.
Yeah, you have to use the free loadout.
You start off as the broken version of Raven as you pop in. That's right.
So, I did have to redo the helicopter. Okay. He killed me once, and then I got him the next time.
Which is how it should be generally.
Yeah. Got to use the sword. I wasn't using the sword enough the first.
You got to work your way through and get Moonlight in there, and then it's over. Okay. Or get the Coral Cannon.
He's lying. He's lying. It is the weakest version of Moonlight in any FromSoft game.
Hilarious.
Yeah, but you still look cool, and
it's cool.
Is 80% of the fight.
I think at one point I did use the Coral version, which was even cooler. But my go-to was double needle and double Gatling. It just fucking shreds. It's just melts.
Meta build is double needle, double shotgun.
Yeah, that's fine. But I did the mini tank tread because you're kind of heavy, but also super fast. It was tank tread, like the zippy tank treads with double gatlings. Because so you would it's hard to get the needles can be hard to use in that they're easily dodgeable. But if you get them to hit, you're almost guaranteed the stun, and then you just unload with the double gatlings, and it just melts. It just melts other ACs.
That's why you theoretically run the shotguns, because they do more stagger damage when you're in the breakdown phase.
So
if you stun them and get up close and do it, you delete like half a health bar instantly.
Yeah, so there's maybe a little bit more forgiveness there, but like it was really satisfying to kill like some of the
meanwhile
tougher
I was
bosses.
quad legs.
That's what I'm rocking at the moment.
Because
there's only one level
is goated.
I only use that one when you're doing the furnace, the smelter demon of AC.
Yeah, so you could hover on top of him and just fire into his weak point.
Get to the weak point.
So I know there's also like branching paths and multiple playthroughs that you have to do.
I wouldn't call it. Oh, there are. I guess it is. I guess you would kind of call it branching.
Multiple endings, and then there's.
No, I know that. No, it is choice. It is choice based. Yeah.
There are NPCs that if you choose to fight and kill, it alters your future path versus letting them live.
Yeah, if you're committed to playing through it, you have to do all 3 playthroughs.
Yeah. No, I want to do that.
You have to kill G4.
I want to see the end.
Guazu #1 hater.
Yeah. Yeah, if there are no, Guazu haters in the world, it's because I've died. It's because I've passed away.
If you don't cry while fighting Rusty, are you even human?
I still have the model kits that I need to build. I have the Raven and Rusty. Still one of the most anime-esque moments of all time. Rusty shooting the worm from half a continent away.
100%. I won't miss.
It's the way that they do like it's one of the best examples of like FromSoft's expertise in storytelling, and how that they don't necessarily rely upon things like cutscenes and shit like that. How they did it, like how they used audio design to tell the story, where it's things are building, and then all the audio cuts, and then it's
the crescendo of the music build up.
Yeah. It builds. It goes quiet. I won't miss, and just annihilates.
I mean, you're fighting robot Shai Hulud.
And as far as gimmick bosses go, that's one of the best that they've ever done, because there's so much more to it than just the gimmick. Yeah,
Armored Core 6 has some of the greatest like in contextual storytelling that they do. Like during the mission, just the audio that's happening and people talking back and forth, and like all of the boss fights are cinema in that game. Man, maybe I do it again.
I still remember. Obviously, when you're doing your first playthrough, like how much you struggle against of course, why am I blanking now? Balteus, yeah. You first struggle against him, but then when you do your second playthrough,
you just
you have like that meta build or whatever. And I remember I was ahead of Matt when we were playing, and he like came over. He was like coming over as I was playing. I'm like, I just got to finish. I got to kill Balteus. I want to show you how fun it is now. And I just remember him going, oh my God, as I killed him in under 20 seconds.
But nothing stands on Snailteus.
Dude, he was easy. GG's easy. Fuck you.
I just like close. Snail. I like his voice actor.
Great, but I'm also a #1 Snail hater as well. Yeah, Andrew, you gotta commit. You gotta lock in, and you gotta play through the whole thing. I mean, to say 3 playthroughs sounds like a lot. It's really not, because you also don't have to replay every mission. You go back and you play from a certain chapter, and I think they get shorter. I think the third one you start.
Plus, the more loadout you have, the easier the missions become.
Right, and the key is that in each playthrough, as you get towards the end, the back half of it, you're getting new missions. That's the thing. It's not that you are playing the same. There's a lot of repetition. You are playing a lot of those missions again, but then there are new ones, or a mission has.
It's the same mission but a different twist.
Yeah, that's why I want to play all 3, because
to see it all. There is a lot of extra content in the other playthroughs, so it is absolutely worthwhile. But a full 3 playthroughs, all endings thing was like 50 hours. So it's not crazy.
It's Evangelion with my coral girlfriend. It's me crying with Walter at the end.
Walter was a real one. You think you hate Walter at first, but then you realize, he was Jake.
Yeah, no, I think the storytelling's great. That's part of what's brought me back to it, is I've wanted to wrap up and see that story through, just based on
Highly recommend
both of your reviews of it. And the gameplay is great. It's so much fun. Like I was loving getting back to it. So
the build
I'll probably
crafting
be
in
that
that game is just incredible. The amount of choices you can make on like what feels good to you as a player.
You have to like lock in and stick through it and like be consistent to get the most out of it. But it also is really conducive to short play sessions because you just do a mission.
Do a mission or two and log out.
Exactly. Which is good for me.
Bring your portal to work, go into the bathroom, play a mission.
I have contemplated.
Do it on your lunch break.
But that's exactly what I've thought about.
They can't get you for that.
No, 100%.
No, I've brought my Steam Deck to work before and played on my lunch break.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
All right. So I was like looking at my backlog list and looking at, okay, what did I play this month? And I feel like I've like missed one, but I didn't finish as many games.
You played non-censored Wuchang.
So I played Rido Remastered, Wuchang, over a little bit over 3/4 of the way through Ys 8. But let's just talk about. Let's use this as our opportunity to talk about what's going on with Wuchang and the shall we say, controversial. Again, calling it a movement is hilarious. It is the largest ethnic group in the world. To call it a movement is very funny to me.
It's the Han nationalist movement.
Again,
are they the largest group in America though?
So it doesn't really count.
Yeah.
No, the largest group in America is the Mexicans.
I don't know what you can and can't do in this game now. So I have finished before the patch, or it was patch like 1.5 came out. And it is such a mixed bag because there are a couple really, highly requested and I think beneficial changes to a couple core gameplay things that will smooth over some of the artificial difficulty. That the game can still be challenging enough, although one of the tweaks that they have made has now kind of neutered one of the more challenging sections, which I think arbitrarily. And then there's the other thematic and storytelling and narrative changes that they've done that is basically them bowing to cultural sensitivities within China. That to kind of break down fully, I've heard things about how those within the company and within their kind of distribution arm, like told the creator, they're not going to like this, and he ignored them for a while. So what happened is, you've alluded to, is that the game takes place in a historical era with obviously, maybe she is actually based off of I think she might be based off of there's like a pirate. She was like a pirate, I think, by Wuchang. And that may be true. But so it takes place in a real historical era. It's the fall of the Ming Dynasty, the revolution or the invasion by the Manchurians that would then establish the Qing Dynasty, which became the last dynasty in China. It is considered to be a period of cultural shame for the dominant Han Chinese population, which again is the largest ethnic group, not just in China, but
movement
in the world. Again, you can't call it a movement when they have been in historical power forever. They view the Qing Dynasty as a period of foreign rule, basically, and they view it as a shameful period of cultural regression and repression, and that they were, that Manchurian style and ideals were imposed upon them, that China went from a kind of technologically and scientifically advanced culture to regressing quite a bit as scientific efforts were repressed in the area. So it is a contentious period of history. And so in the game, you're not affiliated with either one. But the only historical figures that you fight in the game are Ming characters. And
Oh no.
There are Han Chinese NPCs like Han people like were getting upset about. There are Han, you're killing Han farmers, and it's like they're throwing a rock at me. What do you want me to do?
That
But
seems
yeah,
parallel to a lot of things that have happened historically.
yeah,
You agree when they kill other people who throw rocks.
throwing rocks. Oh boy, let's not unpack that one. But yeah,
Weird.
so like the boss, like you kill the last Ming emperor in this. Technically, he is already dead, and he is the whole bit of the plot is that is trying to do resurrection. That's what's caused the feathering sickness. That is why all the people have gone crazy. It's the stuff behind your powers and all that. And the emperor is trying to be resurrected or whatever, and you kill him. He's not even the final boss. He is like one of the penultimate bosses. And so you kill the Ming emperor.
Obviously, some Rasputin character is the
Yeah. So they've censored. You have to call it censorship. It is what it is. They have gone back, and now all of those Ming characters that you fight, rather than dying, they become what is called exhausted. That they just stop fighting and will just have a couple lines of dialogue after and tell you like, oh, that was just a test, or it's like, I can't go on any further, but go in peace, friend, type of thing.
good bout, sir.
Yeah, so it has introduced a shit ton of plot holes into it. And in the patch notes for this, they have said, and is what confused a lot of people until people started to really dig into it. They're like, in future updates, we will better change these exhaustion dialogue lines to reduce the plot holes or whatever. That this was some type of hot fix that that they just had to roll out now.
Yeah, because the Han movement was coming in on there.
It's getting all worked up. But the good updates that they did are they improved iframes in getting knocked down because her get up animation was super long. And I remember when I was telling you guys about it as I was playing, that I didn't find myself being affected by that one too much. That was until about the last third of the game when I was getting killed in boss fights from a chain of you get knocked down and
get back up again. They're never gonna keep me down.
Say you get knocked down, you get up again. They do keep you down because there's no tub thumping in.
Was there no whiskey drink or lager drink?
No. That I did think of that bit though before we recorded, but I kind of forgot about it. But yeah, they you would just get kind of not even stun locked because you would fall, and then you'd get up and they'd be in the middle of an attack string, and as soon as you get up, there was like no dodge animation to get up. That you would just immediately get hit and either get knocked down again or you would die because you're just kind of locked into it.
Now I don't want to derail it real quick, but this reminds me. There was footage I saw of Everdark Libra. It was 3 raiders, and the raider got knocked down by a blast from Libra, and then one of the NPC raiders came over with the Axe of Godfrey, and as he stood up, did the stomp, which knocked him back down. He then got hit by another AoE, and then he had like a quarter, like maybe like a tiny little sliver of health left. And as he went to get back up, the NPC raider was finishing the Axe of Godfrey full stomp combo and killed him again.
Yeah. So they've tweaked that, and the other major one is that your healing animation is faster. Because that it became a problem that basically when you would get staggers and do like the visceral kill, they call it an obliterate strike. When you would do that, you would basically you'd have to use those opportunities to heal because it's like when you're only guaranteed safe because it takes so long. So they made that.
Did they also change some of the enemy behavior? That's
the one I was referencing. That it's like I think it's chapter 4. They have
like don't the farmers not attack you now?
It's some of the farmers as well as some of the Ming soldiers who are basically had been mini bosses up to that point. Or at least they are in mid-game. They just become slightly more elite enemies, not really true mini-bosses, which is a shame because they're some of the most fun regular enemies to fight. And that it's like chaos has unfolded. The original area of the game is now been kind of taken over. It's transformed. You're now kind of tracing your steps backwards in that original area. And there's monsters coming in. There's the remnants of these soldiers, and they're fighting each other. It's chaos. There's a lot of high strength, dangerous enemies around, and it can be a tense area. I didn't find it to be that challenging at all, though. Let's be real. I don't think it needed that tweak at all. And it's been like, yeah, that they have made it so that the main NPCs in that area are not hostile to you anymore. And it's just doesn't make sense. And it's probably, I was like, again, I was so strong by that point of the game that I was steamrolling all those NPCs. I didn't have any trouble there. So that's unfortunate. So I'm glad that I beat the game when I did. Like, yeah, I had those slight annoyances of like the knockdown animation, and yeah, it cost me a few deaths in some boss fights at the end of the game, but nothing to the point where I was like, really banging my head against the wall. And I think it's bad, obviously, that they have changed these plot points to honestly to satisfy some bad faith complaints from people who didn't seem like were actually playing the game, like that the vocal antagonism of players in China were from users who were not playing the game, that there was a large Chinese player base, but that there were plenty who didn't mind and like were fine with it, and that it was. So you can debate, is it organic or inorganic? Was it was it pressure by the the party or whatever? Is it to avoid political backlash? Is it to with to satisfy distribution deals within China to fit cultural standards?
The
I don't
DLC
know
is
the
going to be a
specifics
time
of
jump
that.
forward, and they're going to have to kill She as the final boss.
No, they just killed Winnie the Pooh instead. Don't come for me, President G. I'm sorry. I had to say it. I had to say it. Don't deduct my social credit, please. I think it's a shame. I think it's a shame because it's just put a bad taste in people's mouths for a game that had controversy because of real stuff like bad PC performance. Right? My performance was fine. Was okay. I played on PS5 Pro. I played on probably not even the best version, because of course I finished the game and then Digital Foundry puts out their console breakdown video and what's the best thing, and they still say that yeah, playing on performance mode is still the best, and you do get some visual fidelity loss. But I played on quality mode on PS5. It maybe had a few slowdowns here and there frame rate wise, but honestly it was fun. The biggest thing that I had was maybe it happened maybe 4 or 5 times throughout the whole game, but never happened in a boss fight, which is good because then that would have pissed me off. It was largely just in the world exploring and almost never around an enemy. I would have these freezes for 3 to 5 seconds, which made me think it was about to crash. It never did. It never did. But it was a freeze that was like, oh, it's about to crash. I'm about to get booted out. But then it fixed itself and went on fine. That was the extent of my technical issue with the game. But I thought it was good. I like it.
How do you compare it to Wukong? Which would you recommend?
It's tough. It depends on what you're looking for. And I honestly think that people will say that Wuchang has these difficulty spikes, but it's one thing that Wukong and Wuchang both have that are, should be standards now. You can respec at will. There's no penalty to respecing. Everything is refunded for free. You can go with a particular build. And it was one complaint that I had at the mid game that then stopped being an issue. It was something that I expressed to you guys before, that I was feeling like there were these mid-game bosses that I felt like it's the ones that people were complaining were these difficulty spikes. That was like, oh, the solution just becomes to use this one weapon, to implement this one mechanic called clash, which is a version of deflecting. And it's just what it results in is just spam attacking. You have to spec out into the tree so that like your heavy attack and so it's like you're using like the best clash weapon are the dual blades. And so it's like your third, fourth, and fifth attacks of the combo, the light attack combo, gain clash. And so what it is like if you don't really time it, you're just spamming. And it's basically when if your attack of that combo lands at the same time that an opponent attacks, you are clashing and you deflect either a majority or all of the damage. And if you have again spec'd correctly, it involves other mechanics. Like there's this big thing called madness in the game that goes up and down depending on different criteria, and you can manage using consumables. That it's like, so for clash on dual blades with a particular skill, if you're over a certain madness threshold, you regain health when you clash. And there's another weapon ability that lets you put on like a bleed a type effect it's called leech. And so you can leech health. And so you temper your weapons with leech. You use your Blade Master skill to make your strikes faster, and you just spam attack, the light attack, and you just clash through everything, and you are unkillable. You are just either, if a strike gets through, you're regaining the health, either through a successful clash or just leech strikes, and you're unkillable. And your stamina is constantly regenning, and it's just a win button, basically. And so it feels cool to clash purposefully, but then when you're spamming it, it just feels kind of cheap.
Yeah.
And it felt like there are these bosses that are hard, and that the only solution is just to use this one mechanic. And I felt like that was the case for there were these dotted across the different bosses, that there were a few that were just like, I just have to do it this way. And I still feel that that's a problem. But then when you get into the back half of the game, viability becomes a thing again. And like, my favorites were the dual blades and then the big axe. And so I beat final boss and a lot of the difficult endgame bosses with my axe. So like build variety was possible once more.
Okay.
On the whole, I think Wuchang is easier, and I think that's generally agreed. I never had a boss that took me as long as the fucking tiger from Wukong. Granted, that was the only boss in Wukong that took me more than like 3 or 4 tries. It's the only one that I spent like 2 hours on that boss. So I don't know. It kind of depends on what you're looking for. There's a little bit more kind of character action stuff going on in Wukong. The level design is not nearly as intricate. If you want like a kind of a really more Souls experience, then yeah, Wuchang is the way to go. But there's a lot of similarities. There is viable build crafting in both. There's some broken ass builds in both. The combat can't really compare. The staff combat is unique to Wukong.
The real answer here is not Wukong versus Wuchang. It's Wolong.
No thanks.
Nah. Pass.
I kind of rate them pretty evenly. I think they range throughout their run times of being like just sub 8, like 7.9-ish, to can reach the points of like 8.5 at their highest. I enjoyed them both. I like them both, to be clear. But they scratch slightly
you just said
different
Wukong
itches.
wasn't a 9.5 plus out of 10, so you're going to get canceled.
I've been vocal about that though for a while. That Wukong is very enjoyable. That didn't change my life. Was a fun game to play. I'm glad I played it. I'm glad I played.
For you next.
I'm glad I played Wuchang, and I'm glad I played it when I did. That's the thing. For a time, I was a little bit annoyed. I was like, oh crap, I'm gonna finish it just before the update comes out to fix the 2 annoying things, and then they fixed the 2 annoying things and made something even more annoying and more troubling. So yeah, that's it for me. Rido Remastered was okay. Matt, you'll probably enjoy it. It's a pain no mind for you, Andrew. It was fine. You feel it's how dated it is. Combat was good enough though. And then Yeez has drawn me in. I was like not so sure at first, and there's some dated feel to it too because it's technically a 2016 game. There's something really satisfying about its skill system. It's a little spammy. It's a little bit strategic. It's fun. I like it. I've become a Falcom head. That's it's not really to be surprised.
It's because the protagonist reminds you of the Freeran character,
which Adol does kind of look like Stark.
Yeah,
the red-haired fighter.
Yeah.
Okay. I do love Stark though. He's a great character. Adol wishes he had the charisma
he had the unspoken riz of Stark.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, I think that's going to do it for us today, folks. We are off again next week. It's a long month this month, so we'll think about some type of video to do in the meantime, and then we'll have a news roundup, and then, as Andrew alluded to, his true game of the year for us is Resident Evil 4. So be on the lookout for that. Matt, make some time to play it. Pull yourself away from Nightreign to play Resident Evil. It's not that scary. It's not scary at all. You'll be fine, and I think you'll actually enjoy it. I was surprised how much
I mean, I've already seen a playthrough. I watched a challenge run that someone did where they played it with, I believe, it's
Knife only?
crossbow only.
Okay. Let's say
Cool.
knife only. That would be sick.
No, they did crossbow only, and there were some interesting roadblocks that they ran into. I think it was some like Titan enemies that have a wormy dude on their neck.
Yeah, they can be tough.
Yeah, you need some burst damage for that. Yeah, that can be pretty tough. Particularly, there are a couple of levels, yeah, where they're like waves that you have to get through. I died a lot in the one where you're in like the cabin, and how to beat that with just a crossbow,
Yeah,
no fucking
that's
idea.
Really limited ammo.
Although you can technically reuse your crossbow. That's the one
Yeah.
upside, is that you can any shot that hits, you can reclaim the ammo. So that's the one upside to it. All right, we will see you in a couple weeks. Bye bye.